Why Abe's assassination exposed a hidden political network in Japan. In July 2022, former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was assassinated during a campaign speech in the quiet city of Nara. Japan is one of the safest countries in the world. Gun violence is almost non-existent. A political assassination? Unthinkable. But what shocked Japan even more wasn't the shooting itself. It was the killer's motive. The gunman said, "My family was destroyed by the Unification Church. Abe supported them. That's why I shot him." And with that one sentence, he blew open a political secret that had been buried for half a century. Today, we're going to connect the dots. What is the Unification Church? Why was half of Japan's ruling party connected to it? And why did Abe's death expose something far bigger than a single crime? Let's break it down. Part 1. A family destroyed and a target chosen. The assassin, Tetsuya Yamagami, didn't act out of ideology or political hatred. His motive was deeply personal. His mother donated huge sums of money to the Unification Church. The family went bankrupt. His childhood collapsed. His brother later took his own life. His own future fell apart. Japanese courts and media have independently confirmed these details. Yamagami originally wanted to target the church itself, but its leaders were impossible to reach. Then he saw a video of Abe giving a speech for a Unification Church-related event, and Abe became the symbolic target. What no one expected was what happened next. Part 2. So, what is the Unification Church? And why is it so controversial? The Unification Church isn't just a religion. For decades, it has behaved like a high-pressure, money-extracting political organization. Here are the key problems. 1. Extreme fundraising that ruined families. For decades, courts found the church guilty of coercive donation demands, spiritual pressure, selling charms, stones, and amulets for thousands of dollars, warning members that your ancestors will suffer if you don't donate. Many families literally went bankrupt. 2. Strong internal control. Many former members describe it as a system of psychological pressure and obedience. 3. A political machine disguised as a religion. The church built a global anti-communist network, conservative political pressure groups, a highly disciplined volunteer base, dozens of front organizations to hide its identity. This last point is important because it explains why Japanese politicians kept using the church. Part 3. Why did Japan's ruling party work with them? The real answer is not money, but elections. A lot of people ask, was the Liberal Democratic Party tricked by a cult? The truth is more uncomfortable. They weren't tricked. They benefited. For decades. Reason number 1. The church provided organized votes. Japan's elections rely heavily on door-to-door visits, handing out flyers, phone banks, volunteer labor. Not money, manpower. And the Unification Church had something political parties desperately want. Thousands of obedient volunteers. A unified voting bloc. A local networks that can mobilize instantly. For many candidates, this was a political lifeline. Reason number 2. Ideological alignment. The church promoted anti-communism, traditional family values, national conservatism. These ideas aligned perfectly with Japan's conservative factions, especially the one Abe belonged to. Reason number 3. Decades of political habit. From the 1960s onward, conservative politicians and the Unification Church formed a quiet alliance. Over time, it became normal. A lot of mid-level politicians admitted. They said they were a family values group. They offered volunteers. I didn't ask questions. Not ignorance, willful ignorance. Part 4. Abe's death opened the floodgates. After the assassination, journalists began investigating the church's political ties. The results were explosive. 179 out of 379 LDP lawmakers admitted they had contact with the church. Several cabinet ministers were forced to resign. Many politicians had appeared at church events for years. Some offices regularly used church volunteers during elections. This wasn't a few bad apples. It was a structural problem. A hidden political network had been operating for decades. Undiscussed, unexamined, and quietly accepted. Abe's death didn't create this crisis. It simply exposed it. Part 5. The government's response. Too late, but finally serious. The scandal forced Japan to do what it had avoided for decades. Launch an official investigation. Question the church collect testimony from victims, review decades of illegal fundraising, Finally, in 2025, a Japanese court issued a dissolution order, stripping the Unification Church of its legal status as a religious corporation. This was historic, only the third such dissolution in Japanese history. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Dissolving the church does not dissolve the political culture that allowed it to thrive. Part 6. The real lesson. Japan's political system has a vulnerability. The biggest problem is not the church. It's this. Japan's politics relies heavily on organized groups to win elections. That creates space for any disciplined organization, religious or otherwise, to gain influence. The Unification Church filled that space for 50 years. And now that it's gone, another group could easily step in. Abe's assassination was a tragedy, but it also exposed a deeper truth. Japan's democracy needs more transparency, stronger boundaries, and a political culture that values public interest, more than election machinery. Until that changes, this won't be the last time a hidden network shapes Japanese politics. Closing. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and tell us in the comments. Do you think political parties should be banned from working with high-control religious groups? Or is that interfering with democracy? Thanks for watching, and stay curious.